Welcome to the Crying and Dying podcast with Adam and Lizzie. This is episode 5.
'Cause these are the best days. These are the best days. These are the best days. These are the best days of our lives. Of our lives. These are the best days.
Oh my goodness, guys. Welcome. We are so excited to have you here. This is our 5th episode of the Crying and Dying podcast, and we are just so excited to have you here today. This is going to be a really fun format. We are calling, for lack of better terms, we are calling it the Wildcard episode. So we have a random assortment of topics that don't connect in any way. It's just going to be fun, and I think we're going to have a great time. So Adam is here with me. And
Hello.
Adam, what had you crying and dying this week?
Oh my goodness. So last week, I talked about my school being closed. Well, guess what? My school is still closed. We are going on day 8.
You are paying for this. You actually pay them money for this.
Yes, I've paid them money. They're accredited in some capacity, I guess. I don't even have any additional words to say about it.
So are you exempt from homework? Are they teaching anything? Are you
Classes are
expected to
canceled.
complete anything?
Everything's
Wow.
canceled. I'm just
Wow.
not...
Well, I guess since it's summertime, they don't have to send the kids home out of the dorms unless there's
It's not that big of a school.
summertime.
This is not... I don't think they have dorms.
Oh, interesting.
So in-person class is going, online is not. So if you go to my school's webpage, you don't even get that. I sent them a sternly worded
Perfect.
email on Friday because I'm like, what is going on?
Really?
Yeah. And I got some generic reply, kind of like I was expecting.
I mean, summertime, you're already on a tight schedule, and they are certainly well aware of that. I know, at least at the college I attended, summer classes were more expensive, even though they were shorter. It was more expensive. And so, I mean, good grief. Are you going to get some kind of a refund?
Well, they're the same price for me, so I'm not super worried on that side. I just don't know what they're going to do. So I don't know if they're going to push the end date of the term, if they're going to extend you can drop with a refund date, because I've already passed that, technically. I think they're going to do whatever we want them to do, or that's what I'm telling myself, so I don't have anxiety about it.
I was going to say you could always send a second strongly worded email with the subject line, "I'd like to speak to the manager, please."
That's really funny. Don't put it past me. I can go from 0 to Karen in about 3 seconds. So
I'm saying this with so much kindness, but do you suppose this is a family trait?
what are you talking about?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Okay, perfect.
Ignore me. I'm not here.
Okay, perfect. So Lizzie, what had you crying and dying this past week?
Oh my goodness. You were asking me earlier if I got a haircut or if I straightened my hair. Like so many in our family, I have just this very brown, it's one shade of brown hair. Very, very pin straight, very heavy, very thick. So I walked into the salon. I don't ever color my hair, and I did not get color this time. But I was like, hey girl, we gotta lighten this up. It's summertime and I'm hot. And I already have, are you familiar with, you probably are since you did cosmetology school. Are you familiar with the term an undercut?
Yes.
Okay. I had a small, modest undercut that was just my starter pack. It was just a starter.
That's
to
pretty
see if I
edgy.
liked it. And yeah. Oh, if my siblings are listening, they know I'm the edgy sibling.
I mean, I could have told you that as well.
Oh Lord. But here's what they say that as to make fun of me because I make the safest, least risky choices, but I look sometimes occasionally like I'm just very cool, but I'm really not. So anyway, the salon, I had her like make my undercut just like a little bit bigger because I was getting like some weird like side hairs. So she made it bigger. Oh, she cut like a really cool design into it. It looks really great. If you don't know what an undercut is, it's where somebody gets like, so like my hair looks like normal, cute, like little like haircut, but underneath,
Is that the technical term
like
for
at the
this
bottom of
haircut?
my head,
Technical,
yes,
cute,
I believe
normal?
so.
I don't remember what the words were.
For the haircut, like a
How it is
summer
now.
cut with layers.
You have like a
I
lob.
don't know. Yeah, with layers. And I told her I'm thinking about growing it out later this year. And so I'm really living on the edge, you guys. So she like made my undercut bigger and I got a middle part. I said goodbye to my side part because I'm a
Oh.
cool millennial. So now all the youth can stop making fun of all the millennials who wear skinny jeans and have side parts. I wanted to try a middle part and I kind of don't hate it. It's taking me some time. But yeah, I have like my cute summer. Oh, the thing about my straight hair. I have like forever always hated my straight hair because it reminds me of being like 10 years old and not feeling my prettiest. And for the majority of my childhood, I had bangs that also did not make me feel my prettiest. So I don't feel super cute today with my straight hair, but I'm learning to like tell myself that it's okay and it's what the Lord gave me and it's just how it is. And some days your hair is straight and some days it's not, and that's just fine.
So how curly would you
And
say your hair
also-
is naturally?
0
Oh, I thought you have curly hair.
on a scale. No, no, no. No, 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 no.
So you have our family's stick straight hair.
Oh yeah, let's call
Thick
it the
and long
the-
and like heavy.
Oh my gosh, like like anyone who's ever cut my hair, that's always like the description. They're like, "Wow, this is much heavier than I thought." And I'm like, "Yeah, try carrying it around."
Where's your undercut actually at?
And it's between my, like the zone between your ears.
So
So
like under your ear.
it
and
starts
down.
at the yeah, it starts at the bottom and then makes a triangle from the base behind my ears to like the middle point.
I should know
So
what
it's
that,
not too high,
what
not
that
too
is,
low.
but I don't.
I don't know. There's like a middle point. So I mean, I feel, especially today, I feel very edgy because I've got my middle part. My siblings always say like, "Yeah, she's the edgy sister because she has a trendy tattoo and a nose ring." But my nose ring, like I've always wanted like a double piercing, but I'm happy to have just gone once. I'm not going back for a second piercing. But it like doubles, the ring like doubles over so it looks like there's two, and it really brings me a lot of joy. So I'm doing that, and I'm wearing a crop top today, which I just feel very like wild about, but I'm also for sure not leaving the house today, so it's completely
Watch out.
fine.
Call the police.
I know, right? That was a long way, a long version of what had me crying and dying this week. I freshened up my summer look.
What a great story.
Thanks. Oh my goodness. So should we just dive into our like wild card topics for the day?
Sure, why not?
Perfect. Oh my goodness. I'm excited. Okay, so here's the format, guys. We're just trying something new today. It's going to be different. It's going to be fun. So I have like a list, and Adam has a list of like random, unrelated topics that are just like short and fun. We wanted to have like a lot of fun with today's episode. So I'm going to ask the first question, and then Adam's going to ask one, and we're just going to go back and forth till our time is up. And I really hope you enjoy it because it's going to be, I think we both have picked some fun things, and they're a surprise to each other. I am surprising Adam.
Mine,
with my
how do you know
two.
mine are fun?
I'm assuming. Okay,
Oh.
sorry. Yikes. I'm assuming they're going to be fun. Okay, but if they suck, I'm not going to be mad.
That's on me.
Right. Okay, so our first one, and I picked these because at least I have like a funny story or two. So I'm hoping you can have a funny thing too. So the first one is your first day of high school. Do you remember your first day of high school?
I remember it vaguely.
Or at least like maybe if not your first day of high school, like your first like fun thing about high school maybe?
So our high school was 3 floors. I think the thing I worried about the most, like the first day, was like, I don't know where anything is. I don't know how to get anywhere. I think that was probably my first memory of high school. But I mean, I had been there before for like music stuff or I don't know, whatever.
Were you nervous, excited? Like, do you remember your outfit?
No,
Was that important to
no,
you then?
nope, none of the above. I don't remember, and it must not have been important.
Oh man.
I know our freshman year of high school, we had to share lockers, and that was a bit of
Ooh, us too.
anxiety. But I don't even know who I shared a locker with, to be honest, because I never used it, I
Was it
don't think.
alphabetical?
Maybe. I don't remember. And then I think we got our own our sophomore year, and then I started using it, which is such a great story.
Did you just carry a backpack from class to class?
Yep, pretty exciting. Yeah, I mean, our high school was pretty big, and we had, I don't know, 4 minutes between classes, so that was always a bit of anxiety for me because
Oh, sure.
punctuality is something that gives me a lot of anxiety sometimes. If you're not early, you're not on time.
Me too.
So
Oh my goodness. I feel so strongly that same way. Like if I'm not early to something, that like I like feel like this really strong feeling of shame, and it really stresses me out.
I think you equate shame and anxiety, and they're not the same. But like I think it's how like your life has been.
Oh, sure, sure. But I mean, I can also tell the difference between the two. I think it's environmental,
Totally.
like what am I late to? And is that causing me anxiety or shame? I'm not ashamed to be late to the doctor's office.
Yeah.
But I am ashamed sometimes when I'm 10 minutes late to church because everyone's watching.
Well, you know the church people are always judging no matter what. So,
Oh, I know. Doesn't matter what church you go to. There's looks.
all right. So, what else do we got on this? What about you? Do you remember your
But
high school
wait.
was like probably
Oh, yeah.
like 3 people. So
Oh.
you and the rest of the townspeople went to the village
Oh my God.
from the country.
I'm going to tell my story now, Adam.
Okay, what's your story
Oh my
about your high
Okay.
school?
About my first day of high school. The nice thing about, like, I wasn't too afraid to be there. I also shared the same anxiety of like being late to class, not knowing where anything was. My freshman year was unique because it was the last year anyone attended that school because the building was like 100 and some years old. It was so old. And so the construction on the new high school was finished around Christmas time. So the first half of my freshman year was in the old high school, and then the second half of my freshman year was in the new school. And it really bums me out that they like demoed the whole, like it was a really cool building. There was all kinds of like fun like nooks and crannies and like some architectural stuff. Like it was really neat, but I won't dive into that. The nice thing about like me starting freshman year of high school is I was involved in like the women's swim team, so that's a fall sport, and I was also involved in the marching band, and that's a fall activity. So I'd already like started making friends with upperclassmen and getting to know other people because the girls swim team was like pretty decent size. I think there was like 20 or 30 of us. So I'd already been going to practices. During the summer, I had already gone to like the boot camp for marching band where like we learn our like big show. Like they just do like get ahead on it in the summer, which was fun. So I'd already been like making friends. I was familiar with people. It wasn't like the people weren't foreign to me too much. There was a boy in my class who had many older brothers, and one of his older brothers, this was the first day. This is my first day. Oh, and I'd had morning practice, so I had already swam for 2 hours before school even started. So I'm like showing up first day of school, like wet hair. I don't think I was wearing a cute outfit. I think I kind of just like was making it work. And I remember I recognized him this guy because he was an upperclassman. He was the brother of somebody in my grade, and I recognized him from like our marching band practices over the summer. I think it's funny now, but I was pretty like shocked as freshman. I was like navigating the stairs and like weird because it was a super old building, so the stairs and hallways were all kind of like weird. And I was in this like funny like stairs area, and he's like, "Hey, freshman," and I was like, "What?" You're like, "Want to go make babies?"
Whoa.
I was so shocked. I know in hindsight he was totally being funny. He also had a really funny voice. It was completely harmless and he is a nice guy. But I was kind of shocked by it. And then after school, we had like afternoon practice for swimming, and some of the girls in the locker room, they're like, "Guys, how was your first day?" And I told them, and all of them were like, "Oh, he's super harmless. He was just being funny." And truly,
Did you know that at the
was
time?
the case. But kind of. I'm also very short and he's very tall. I was also just like overwhelmed with like being around so many upperclassmen who are so tall. I'm 5'1", so it's easy for me to think anyone is tall. But yeah, I didn't like consider it like sexual harassment. I just thought like, oh, this is just a weird moment in my day. And I just kept moving on.
So like we had started marching band before school started. So I had already kind of gotten a taste of high school with just people that were older than me, people I didn't know, people I've never seen before. So I probably got most of my anxiety out at marching band. Hey, it's Adam. I wanted to tell you about a service I've been using for over 10 years called Audible. Audible is the world's largest producer and provider of spoken word entertainment and audiobooks. I've been a member for about 10 years and have listened to hundreds of books. As someone with ADHD, Audible has given me a way to connect with books in a different way. One of the best things about reading is that you get to feel something that isn't your own experience. Audible gives that plus a little more. Even if you're not a person who reads often, you will still enjoy this service. As a listener of Crying and Dying, we wanted to offer our listeners a chance to try Audible for free for 30 days. To take advantage of this offer and to learn more, go to cryinganddying.com/audible. That's cryinganddying.com/AUDIBLE Audible. Audible is truly one of the best services I have and think you'll enjoy it as well. Now, back to the show. Did you enjoy marching band?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Oh my gosh, I hated it.
It was like, okay, so I was like filled with anxiety. Like, I don't know, do you have these stress dreams where like you're never fully asleep because you're dreaming like you're acting out the thing that has stressed you? Like, has that ever happened to you?
Kind of, yes.
I had a lot of like stress dreams about marching and that I was like messing up because like our teacher was like really strict. And in hindsight, I realized he needed to be very strict. We were a goofy group of kids. But our marching band for a small school that year, there was like 150 kids. So, I mean, you'd have to be strict if you're like one adult against 150 kids. Like, I was like stressed about it, but also having fun because I'm a social person and it was really fun making new friends. And I thought a lot of the upperclassmen were funny. And there was also overlap. Like several of the girls from the swim team were also in the marching band. And so they would give me rides and stuff. But yeah, we also started early. But yeah, it was pretty stressful. What did you play?
I played the trumpet.
Oh,
Not great.
perfect.
Pretty sure it's still at
Do
my
you continue
parents'
to play
house.
it?
No. So like last week, what did yours? If you have a piccolo for sale, if you want to buy a trumpet, you can call my mom because I'm sure she'd love to sell it to you.
My mom has my old flute, and I told her, I said, give it to somebody in need, sell it, keep the money, please, do whatever you want. I told her, whatever is best, I don't care. Just bless somebody and keep the money.
I was like, I think she's asked me before if I wanted it, and I'm like, no.
What are you going to do with it?
I
Decorate with
sure
it?
don't want it. No, thank you. But I have my piano, but that's different.
Do you play that at all?
I didn't have a hatred for piano. I still do sometimes, but sometimes not really.
That's really nice.
It's a piece of
Good for
furniture.
you.
But you can definitely...
So it's not like an electric keyboard. You have a piano in your house.
So it's electric. You can Google what this looks like, but I have a Yamaha Clavinova. So it's like...
I was just going to ask you if it was a Clavinova.
Yes.
I know exactly what that is.
I have a big Clavinova. That's, gosh,
Very
how old
nice.
is that thing? It's got to be at least 20 years old, if not 25,
Wow.
maybe. I don't remember when they bought it.
Good for you.
It's been through several
Did your
moves.
brothers also play?
Yes, I think they played a little. And I tried to teach them a little. I know at some time in my life, but neither of them stuck with it. I played through from like second grade through, well, I guess technically now.
Wow. I don't think I knew this about you. I think I just remember that you did band and choir. I don't
Nope, I took
recall
private
knowing that you
lessons
played the piano.
basically my whole
Good
life.
for you.
Yeah. The
Wow.
piano teacher was my music teacher in middle school, so that was fun.
Oh,
I've got awards and stuff from piano. I mean, like, I don't think I'm like great, but I know how
that's
to play.
so cool. Good for you.
Yeah. Like performing piano is like the most nerve-wracking thing, and you always have to do it from memory, and I don't understand this like memorization thing with music. It's like a thing. Do you get it? Because I don't
I
get
can
it.
relate. Yeah, I completely understand what you're saying. Yeah, it frustrated me too. Like, I'm the kind of person that, like, if you want me to play and you want me to do it well, just let me read the music. I'm not going to do this from memory.
And you still kind of know it, even if you're looking at it, but it's like the
Right.
comfort. I don't know.
It's different than knowing the words to a song. It's a completely different, I almost want to say it's a different side of the brain. It's a totally different experience. Like singing a song at karaoke night and playing a piano, like playing a piece on the piano from memory, that's like two very different skill sets, I think.
Yeah. I always wanted to be like play it for the choir in high school, but that's a whole big long
that would have been so
drama-filled
cool.
story. And I didn't necessarily get along with the choir teacher, so that is what it is. We were besties.
Oh man. Okay, my next question is like, tell me a story about either your first job or like a funny job, like from when you like think in the zone of like you're 15 years old, it's summertime. Like, was that your first job? Like, think of that kind of
Yeah.
zone.
I'll talk about my first like job. Like
Perfect.
not like babysitting or like, something like
Right.
that.
A real job.
So I worked at a grocery store, and it's one of the big grocery store chains in the Midwest. And I was a bagger, and I did carts. I don't really have like it wasn't fun, and it really wasn't funny. All of my friends worked there, so that was fun.
I was going to say, did you have friends there? Like, did you meet
I don't
people?
know.
So like, how old were you?
I was 16, because they wouldn't hire
Okay.
anybody well, they would, but they really wouldn't hire anybody
Really?
under 16. Yeah.
In Wyoming, it's 14.
Well, you can be 14, but there's allegedly a lot of rules that they have to follow.
Oh, that's messy for an employer. Wow.
So I worked there all of high school, and well, okay, so let me tell you a couple stories from working there, not necessarily my first day.
Sure.
Me and a handful of my friends were on, like, this is a couple years into it. We had gotten promoted to checkers, and then we had learned some other stuff. So we were part of the quote unquote stock crew. And so we would do the like stock from the truck that had come. I don't know how we didn't get fired from this place because we were not good. This is all alleged. I am not going to say that this is real, but
You can't confirm or deny.
but we may have been like, I'm really hungry. What would happen if I accidentally just slice my box just a little too deep and these cookies just opened? Oh no, now they're damaged. We can't sell them.
Oh, no.
So does anybody want a cookie?
Man, the amount of times I've bought something from the store that somebody was just being an idiot with the box cutter. Gosh dang it. The amount of times.
It's really easy to do. I have had some pallets that I had been like driving around the store, had two of them completely fall over.
Oh, no.
One of them was a pallet of soda. So that went everywhere. That was fun.
No.
Another was a pallet of like cereal and stuff. And it was just messy because it went everywhere. Not like the cereal, but like all the boxes. And I know there was a sticker rack in that aisle and it got knocked over. It was like a spinner rack and that was a hot mess. One day
Dang.
we went on the roof of the building.
Where did it go? What did you do? Allegedly.
I took a picture of the hotel that was next door.
Cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, we went on the roof. I worked overnights a couple times when they were short help, and that sucked, but like on the weekends.
Night shift is the worst.
Well, this is like the overnight because we were a 24-hour store. I'd have to unlock
interesting.
we had the liquor, it was like locked up after like 10 p.m. So I'd have to open the cage for the people that wanted booze. That was fun. Well, I don't have really any good stories. We just kind of messed around and somehow made like $5 an hour and somehow didn't get fired.
Gosh. Did you buy anything cool with the money you made during high school? Like, did you make a cool purchase?
Probably not. It bought gas. It paid for my
Right.
cell phone. It broke a lot of cell phones, so
Aww.
it went to that. I don't know. I don't know how many flip phones I broke.
I wouldn't be mad if we went back to flip phones. Like, I would not be angry about it.
I like the thought of being able to slam the phone shut again.
Exactly. Or just just have like a little added sass to hold it out at just the right angle for a selfie that's like a little not good.
Or like you take it and you like flip it open. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You hold on to like and then you flipped it
bottom.
open. You're like, what do you want? Or you take the antenna and you just like spin it around.
Oh no.
That was fun.
We had a shared family phone that had the antenna, and it was all the kids made fun of me because it was a brick. The screen was just like a home phone, like it only showed you the number you were dialing. That was it. And it was, I mean, not as thick as a brick, but the same like surface area, maybe just like cutting the thickness in half.
Yeah, we had one of those.
Oh man. But my
We
first
had a bag phone, I know, in the 90s.
bag phone.
Do you know what that is?
Yes. I'm under the impression that bag phones primarily they just lived in the car. You just left it in the car. Was that the case?
Yeah. It did not leave the car. It was literally like had a cord connected to this like bag, and you talked on it like a phone. It wasn't
Wow.
cordless. It wasn't great, but it worked.
What a miracle. People paid money for that. That makes me happy. My first job was also at a grocery store. I was
Wait, is this did you work with the one that your dad was at?
Get ready. This is
Oh,
good.
dear.
This is a good story. All three of us kids, our first job was working with dad at the grocery store.
I didn't know that.
Yep. My dad recently retired. He was there for 17 years. He started when I was a first grader. I remember he was at this grocery store, and working for him was like a summertime job. Oh man, I exclusively I very occasionally my job was in like produce. Very occasionally would I be putting stuff out on the floor, unloading pallets, like doing like customer facing things. Almost exclusively, I'll say like 90% of my job was in the back. I have so many good skills that nobody knows about. And I truly, there was enough work to keep me paid and busy for a whole summer. All I did was cut fruit into tubs, and I made homemade salsa. Like, my dad is famous for his salsa, and I think I made it enough times with him that I don't think I'll get the recipe 100% correct, but I can get it close. I know for sure I could probably get pretty close. So in the summertime, yeah, that was I'd be chopping watermelons like no one's business. I feel like no one has chopped more watermelons than me. Except for
And did you
my
take the
dad,
seeds out of them
course.
too?
No. It was for when people would buy, when you go to the store and you buy, you don't want to buy a whole pineapple. So
Yeah,
you buy
like a
the
half.
Like a half, yeah. So it would be stuff like that, like mixed fruit containers, parfait stuff, but just without the yogurt. So many watermelons. And I feel like this is a really smart, like, sustainability move. Sometimes, like, if tomatoes were bruised or just like not like pretty enough to be like out on the floor, my dad just had like a stash of stuff. Like, it wouldn't get old or anything, it would just be the stuff that wasn't good looking enough, and that's what would get chopped up and turned into salsa. So like if the tomato had like a bruise, you just cut it out or whatever. And so we made salsa and people went crazy for it. They just loved it. But also, I will say that my dad's salsa recipe, you must be it's for a certain type of person. It's not for the salsa connoisseur. If you want something spicy, this is not for you. It's more of a sweet and salty. It's like if pico de gallo didn't have any spice. Imagine that.
So this is a good family-friendly salsa.
It is. Oh my gosh, like, people would send pictures of their children completely covered like in salsa juice. Just like, I mean, babies would eat it and they just loved it to death. It was great.
Nice.
So that was
do you have
like
any good stories. Did you go on the roof of your grocery store?
my dad occasionally did to like fix the air conditioning, but I did not go on the roof. I'm trying to think. I get really triggered. I hate 80s music more passionately than I should, probably because this grocery store, like many in the Midwest, exclusively only played like crappy 80s music. And there are some songs that just make me so grumpy because I heard them way too many times while I'm chopping up a watermelon or whatever. And I feel like Love Shack is like the number one. Love Shack's probably the one song I hate more than anything. Like, why did a grocery store in Wyoming need to play this song like 5 times a day? I'm trying to think. There's like some songs I hear them and I just get like so irritated because it just reminds me of being 14 at the grocery store chopping fruit.
Well, I love 80s music, so
Good for you.
I'm going to put a mental note of that. One of my presets in my car for Sirius is 80s on 8.
Oh,
Hey, Lizzie here. If you're a business owner like me that provides virtual and one-on-one services, stick around, this deal is for you. When I first started out as a business owner, I would piece together different free online tools to try and bootstrap and save money. My scheduler was on one website, my invoicing was from another, my emails were all over the place, and I had no centralized location for tracking my client projects. All of that changed when I switched to HoneyBook. HoneyBook is a client relationship management tool that allows me to keep all of my most important tools under one location. With HoneyBook, I can send proposals, invoices, contracts with digital signatures, and emails, store email templates, book client calls, track expenses, generate reports, and keep all of my client deliverables under one clean and clear platform. My clients love it too. There is one centralized location for them to view past invoices, pay current invoices, store their contract, receive digital deliverables, and book their monthly sessions with me. I truly cannot say enough good things about HoneyBook. I really wouldn't have my business without it. Start your free trial at wildfeatherco.com/affiliates and let me know what you think. I can't wait to see how HoneyBook will transform your business.
let's take a quick little like rabbit trail. Do you enjoy SiriusXM? Like, do you enjoy that service?
Yeah, I love it. Do you want to hear my how I afford it and kind of my game I play with Sirius?
Oh, I bet you my husband plays the same game. Let's hear it.
All right. So, well, I guess I've only had it since this car. So I've had it like almost 3 years. So the first year it was free, I think, or 6 months. And then you have to pay for it. And it's normally like $25 a month. And I definitely don't think there's $25. That's more than I'd be willing to pay. So what you do with them is you just threaten that you want to cancel. You don't even have to try. You don't even have to call them. You can do this online in their like chat to us and just say, I want to cancel my subscription. And then they're like, okay, blah, blah, blah. And they try and get you to stay. So you just keep playing that card until you get it down to about $4.99 a month, I think is the lowest I've gotten it. Yeah. And then you get that price for a year. And then I just put a reminder and yep. I put a reminder in my phone for about 11 and a half months, and then I'll play the game next year. So I recently just did this, probably a month ago.
Event.
Yeah, it really is. I'm not going to pay the full price, but I really like it. But I do really like it, so that's why I play the game.
How interesting.
Does your husband do this?
My husband likes Sirius XM. I do not, because I just feel like every channel, like it plays the same like 50 songs. It doesn't matter what channel you're on. And like you think it's going to be like the genre that you're wanting. And at first you're like, okay, yeah, this is fun. But like a week later, it's the same playlist of the same 50 songs. And you
I definitely don't feel that way, but you definitely have not given it enough of a chance.
But I've given it many chances.
I could sell for them.
We've given it many chances. So we got a new SUV after like a really bad hailstorm almost a year ago. It was last July was when we bought it. And because we had to replace cars that were damaged in a hailstorm. So it gave us like a free thing of Sirius XM, but we never like chat with them. Like they don't have like they never bill us for anything. We'll just like listen, because like periodically they just like reapply your free trial or whatever. And so occasionally they'll just turn it back on in the car, and that's the only time that we use it.
Yeah.
But I just like my Spotify channels. Yeah, I just like my Spotify channels a lot more, and Sirius has never like wowed me enough to make me ever want to pay for it.
All right. Well, it's taken me a while to get the stations I like. I don't love all of them, and I only listen to about 5 or 6 of them, except around Christmas, and they have like 47 channels that are just Christmas music, and it makes me really happy.
Thank goodness.
It's amazing. It's literally like 47 channels.
I have a really, really good, like I've curated for myself a couple really good Christmas playlists over the years. And this last Christmas, I made a really good one based off of the soundtrack for White Christmas. So it was very vintage, very like, it made you feel like you were going to put on a record during a snowstorm and cuddle up with the one you love. It was very cozy.
And when you say that, it makes me think of the song Girl, Put Your Records On, which is a 90s hit song.
Thank goodness. I don't think that was the 90s. I think that was 2000s.
I can neither confirm or deny that.
I won't fight you on it.
Yeah. There's a few personalities I like on the station. So on 90s on 9, there's Downtown Julie Brown. I really love her.
Oh, how interesting.
Nina Blackwood is on 80s on 8. And she's got a very, like, I've smoked for like 1,000 years voice. And something about that just makes me happy.
That sounds like the kind of voice that matches the name. That's neat.
That Sugar Ray guy, Mark McGrath, he does 90s on 9 sometimes, and that's when I change it because I can't stand him. He makes me crazy.
Oh man.
I literally change the channel.
I'm really glad that this your rotation of channels, I'm glad that brings you joy. I don't think I would have as much fun, but that makes me really happy for you.
I pay for it, but I don't use it 80% of the time. Probably 80% of the time I'll use my phone.
Oh, sure.
So it's either a podcast or music on my phone. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I'm not in the mood.
I started paying for Spotify, and I don't regret it. I really don't. I really don't.
I have Apple Music as well.
Oh, sure. I mean, since I work from home, I'm always listening to podcasts. I'm always listening to music. I was just like, I really was like losing my darn mind having all those ads and stuff. And like, we like to listen to music when we go on drives or when we like go it's a short road trip to go visit my family in Wyoming. And so it made just simply like trips in the car a lot more enjoyable when I started paying for it. So worth it.
Hey, so I want to go to the next item, which is mine. So it's kind of funny, the last thing you brought up about losing your mind when you started working at home. So when you started your business, what is the one thing that you regret either doing or not doing? And you would like, that's the thing when somebody's like, what's your best advice on starting a business? That's really more of the question.
I do you want me to answer first?
Yeah, because I don't have one.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So I give a lot of, I'm not a business coach, but I do coach people on like, I would call it like the intersection of like personal development and professional development. So I like coach people with boundaries. But I do also do like, yeah, I help a lot of people like with business stuff. And some of the advice I give them is like, it's evolved, like the advice I give has evolved over the years. But the thing that I've like, have been refining more recently, like to give advice to people starting out, is like do the very, like I'm not saying always choose the cheapest option, but like choose the simplest option, like truly like do the least amount of work for the most amount of pay, or like at least like make sure that the work you're doing is actually giving you a return. So I do a lot of, so like social media management is my main gig. And so, I mean, I see people like just they start a business and they're like, oh, I should have a Facebook and an Instagram. I should have a Pinterest. I should have a YouTube. And I'm like, there's gurus out there who will tell you to like, you know, spread out as much as you can. But I think there's so much value. Like, stop wasting your time and like only focus on one platform. So that's like, I just have so many people that come to me who feel so scattered and so they just can't decide like where to prioritize their time and effort. And so that's always like, choose the simplest, most effective choice. I think one of the things that was like some of the smartest moves when I first started, it was 2018 when I opened my business, but I was able to start being full-time from home June of 2020. Some of the smartest moves I made is I formed my LLC right away. I also learned from a business coach just the value of contracts, because that was when I was a nanny and in other situations. I think 99% of the problems I encountered was that I didn't have a contract. So I'm super, super passionate. Like, I'm really passionate about having a contract, and always be like, read your contract cover to cover. Know your contract inside and out. Always be updating it, make changes with every like experience you have, every little thing you learn from in your business. If there's a way you can apply that to your contract, honey, please do it. I think my contract has evolved. It's probably 9 or 10 pages long now, and that's fine with me. That's fine. It's there to protect both parties. Does that answer your question? I feel like
Yeah, don't go too big. I feel like it was kind of, that's how I interpret it.
yeah, just like really like
And
know
have
yourself
your
and know your
agreement in writing.
priorities. Oh, always. Do like, I also have a policy because everything I do is so virtual and very few of my clients I ever get to meet face to face. It is so, like, I am so passionate about this. And yeah, this has cost me clients, but I think it's better in the long run. I am really just emphatic that, like, I don't take phone calls. Like, I don't give a new client or prospective clients, like, my phone number is not on my website. It's not out there. If you want to talk to me, you're going to send me an email, because that is a paper trail, and I like can back up everything that you've said, that I've said, like always, like 95% of the communication I do with people is in written. I usually use a chat platform called Slack. A lot of like companies and businesses and entrepreneurs use it. And that's like truly like just so I can keep track of like, oh yeah, what did they tell me they wanted? Or, oh yeah, they attached this thing over here. Because I think so many things can get forgotten, or it just turns into a he said, she said over the phone. So that's probably the other thing I'm really passionate about, is that I don't do business over the phone. I still take Zoom, like I do a Zoom call once a month with every single client, like minimum once a month. And so we still get to have like a face-to-face conversation where I'm taking notes. And a lot of times I'll send them the notes and say like, hey, here's what we talked about. Here's what we agreed on. Here's the changes that are going to go forward, or whatever.
Do you want to finish off with the last one?
Sure. Let's yeah, this one can just be like quick and cute. I was just going to like close with what are we both currently watching? Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO, whatever. What are you currently watching?
Nothing that I'm like super proud of. So please don't judge me, people.
This is a
If
safe
I'm going to
space.
share this is a safe place.
You're in good
So
company.
a couple things I have been watching that I'm not proud of. Well, the first one the season finale was last night is Mama June Road to Redemption. This is Honey Boo Boo's mom's show, essentially, but they're all on it.
What network is that
And
on?
it's on WeTV.
Okay.
It's not great. You know, just when you see somebody like like they hurt themselves and you're like far away and you like can't help them. So like you see somebody trip. And I mean, if they were like hurting, like you would go help them. That's not what
Right.
I'm saying. But it's like a good train wreck in a hypothetical sense that I can live vicariously through their train wreck.
I sometimes like those
Definitely not
experiences.
anything. Yeah, it's definitely not anything that would fit into my life today. June has gone through a lot over the past couple years. She was on drugs and lost custody of Alana, which is Honey Boo Boo,
Oh my. How old is she
And
now?
then-
Honey Boo Boo.
15 or 16.
Oh, I thought she might have been just a little bit older. Okay. Wow.
And then, so she lives with her sister, Pumpkin. I don't know what Pumpkin's real name is.
It's fine.
Yeah. And, anyways, that's it. The other show that I've been watching is Catfish. I cannot stop watching it.
You can't look away.
No, they've been doing episodes during the pandemic remotely, and it's been really, really, really good. It's like all over Zoom, basically, and they don't leave their house. And it's really interesting because so far, all the episodes they've produced, all the catfishes somehow agree to get on the Zoom, and it's
so
good.
crazy. Oh my gosh.
It's got to cost them like 5 cents to produce that because
know-
I know how much Zoom costs.
right.
And there's no transportation of anybody. You don't have to fly people
Meals.
anywhere. You don't have to drive anywhere. It's
Yeah.
you're at your
hotel.
house doing your thing.
That's great.
So it's got to
How
be a big win
wonderful.
for MTV. Yeah. And then one other show, this is the last one I'll say that I'm watching currently. It's not new, and this is on Netflix. It's called Insatiable.
Oh, I don't think I've heard of this one.
Yeah, I don't even know how to explain. It's kind of a weird show.
That's the name of my favorite
That's no
brew.
longer.
I was gonna say that's the name of my
Nice.
favorite beer at our local brewery, and I swear since the brewery opened 2 or 3 years ago, they have only brought back this beer like twice. I like wait and wait and wait for this beer to come back. I'm sorry. I'm
Nice.
sorry for the interruption. I'm just
So-
passionate.
No, it's you're good. So basically, the show is about this girl who was basically made fun of her whole life for being overweight, and then this is so random, gets punched in the face by a homeless dude. And yes, I have to say homeless dude because that's like how the show is. And she has to get her jaw wired shut, and she loses like 80 pounds or something. And it's kind of like, and this is all scripted, this isn't real, but it's her life after losing weight and how she's the exact same person basically,
But looks very different and is perceived
but
very
like
differently.
how people view her. Yes, it's really interesting from that perspective. It's
How
really effed up at some points in it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's good. Debbie Ryan, I think is her name, is
Okay.
the main character. Do you know who
I'm
that
gonna check
is?
it out. I'm interested.
Well, I want to confirm that that's who that is. Yeah, Debbie Ryan and Alyssa Milano.
Oh.
There's a comedian in there named Sarah Colonna. She was on Chelsea Lately back in the day.
Okay.
Arden Marin. You would probably know. She was SNL, I believe.
Oh. I love SNL.
Yeah. I don't know. It's really random, but I like it a lot. And I've watched it like 8,000 times. So
How wonderful.
what are you watching?
Okay, so on weeknights, my husband and I watch together. We usually watch like 1 to 2 episodes of the classic Lost. This is my third time. I think this is his second or third time watching it all the way through. It's definitely my third time watching it all the way through. I'm wildly passionate about this show. Like, I like truly, truly, I don't think anything has ever been written as well as like this show. Just like the plot, the characters, like the intricate, like it's woven so flawlessly. I just am obsessed with the writing of it and just like the crazy like mysteries of I just love it. And I love like looking for like
I've heard a lot of people talk about that. What platform is that on?
it's on Hulu and it just like
Okay. So I don't have Hulu. I have Hulu. No, I have Hulu in the ad-supported version.
that's what we have too. So.
Well, no, is Lost, it was a cable show, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on ABC.
Okay.
Yeah. In like 2003, 2004, I think.
Okay. I've heard a lot about that show, but I've never watched it.
Oh my gosh. So the same writers, if you ever watched, I think also on ABC or maybe Freeform, that like television family. If you also ever watched the show Once Upon a Time, it's the same writers and there's some overlap with like actors too. Like they definitely double dipped on casting, but the same writers, which I like, if these guys come out with another show, if they like write something else, like I'm there, take my money, please. I'm ready. So we're almost done. We're like, ooh, I think we're 2/3 of the way finished with the last season. So we have tentatively decided what our next show is that we're going to watch together. We do watch a lot of stuff separately, which is fine. We don't mind. But like on weeknights is like
Isn't
our
it like
bedtime
87
routine.
episodes or seasons?
There's 6 seasons of
Oh, that's
Lost. Yeah. But they're all like,
thought it was
you
more.
know, like 50 minutes each. Like episodes, they're like 45, 50-minute episodes. So yeah. So Lost is what we watch together. Separately, I have been watching one of our listeners, Dylan's aunt in California. Hey girl. She suggested that I start watching on Netflix a show called Kim's Convenience, and it's really fun. I'm only like 8 episodes in. If you watched Portlandia, it's similar to like the filming style so it isn't sketch style like Portlandia was, which I loved that show, but it's similar filming style of like lots of exterior shots. And it's about this Korean family who has a convenience store. Now that I think about it, I can't recall which city it's in. Gosh dang it. I don't recall what city it's in, but
I think that came up on my like things I should watch.
I also texted you and told you should watch it. It's just really fun. So yeah, it's about a Korean family, but they're surrounded by like other really wonderful like cultures and ethnicities and different people.
It's trending right now.
Oh, wonderful. I love the diversity. I love the
Toronto.
Like, Toronto. I knew. Okay, it was Canadian. Yeah. Okay. So I love that there's just just a fresh. It's like a refresh on casting and representation, which I think is really important and I really love that. And so I just love, it's been really fun. They're short episodes. They're 30-minute episodes. I think it's really fun. They have like a unique family dynamics, and then they aren't like going like in depth on like hard topics, but they are tackling some like cultural stuff, not like political, but like societal cultural things. I'm only 8 episodes in, so I can't like say like everything for the show. I'm loving it. I think it's really fun. It's the show that I watch at home on my lunch break where I like laugh loudly from the couch alone in my living room eating my lunch.
Nice.
So that's what I've been watching.
When you go from the office to the cafeteria.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the commute,
So when you go from where you're sitting to right over there.
Yeah, I go from
Nice.
my desk in the living room to my kitchen, which is an open concept. I just go grab my lunch and then I
That's
come
funny.
back over here and yeah. So my kitchen, dining, entryway, living area, office is just one very, very big room. So with high ceilings. So yeah, that's my
Cool.
office vibes.
All right, everybody. Well, this week has been really fun talking about random topics that neither of us had told the other about. So
Surprising each other was
sorry if mine
fun.
were boring. I just kind of made them up on the fly, but that's okay. Join us next time for another mystery. Make this up, not make up, but kind of as we go. And it's
Yeah.
really fun, and I like that about this.
That's like the number one priority with the podcast is that we have fun, because that's what this is. So I hope you guys have just as much fun as us. I hope you've enjoyed our fun conversation, and we'll see you next Wednesday for another episode of Crying and Dying.
Bye.